Check 1, 2, and we are live. We are live on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Let's go. Y'all, welcome in. Welcome into the stream. Thank y'all so much for being here. Hope y'all having an amazing Sunday evening, or Sunday evening for me. It might be different for you. Thank you so much for hopping into the stream. Hopefully we'll be able to get moving with some music here in just a bit. Would love to listen to y'all's music. CJ down the street, thank you so much for hopping in. How are you feeling today? Welcome into the stream. Libby, thank you for tapping in. Of course. Thank y'all so much for being here. Let me know where y'all are visiting from. Where are y'all listening or watching the stream from? I appreciate you being here. Daniel's in the building. What's up, Daniel? How you feeling today? Welcome in. How are we feeling today? Braden's in the building. Welcome in, Braden. Thank you for hopping in. Libby, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate you so much. Give me 1 second just to update the stream over here on Torvik so I can see it. There we go. I just got to make sure I can see what's going on the stream. Fantastic. There we go. Braden, thank you so much for hopping in. Make sure y'all are tapping the screens here at the live with a few people. We'll get moving with some music and some other forms and stuff here in just a little bit. Welcome to the Vibe Tribe. Good to see y'all. What are y'all up to today? Welcome in. Amanda's in the building. Amanda, thank you so much for joining the live stream. Appreciate you being here. Where are you joining from? Appreciate y'all being here. Retrack Beats in the building. What's up, Retrack? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. I appreciate you hopping in. How are you feeling today, man? It's good to see you. I appreciate you tapping into the stream today. If y'all are coming in for the first time, make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share it the live with a few people. We're going to get rolling with listening to y'all's music here in just a few minutes. But for the time being, I want to hang out, I want to chat, I want to learn a little bit more about y'all. What kind of music do you make? Where are you tapping in from? Talk to me a little bit about what you have going on in your day. Ever Snow is in the building. Rob is in the building. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. Thank y'all for joining. Family's in here. Is it wavy music or is it just wave music? Let me know. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream. Please make sure y'all are tapping the live. Make sure y'all are sharing out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart meme for the day. It does help boost the living and help with overall exposure for not only the live stream itself, but also for you if you're sending in your music. So do me a huge favor and make sure that y'all are tapping the screen, sharing out the live with a few people. Hopefully we'll get moving with some music here in just a bit as well. William Walker is in the building. William, how are you feeling today? DMC's in the building. What's up, DMC? Composer Jordan Robertson. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I appreciate it. Just got done doing Instacart, cooking some birria rice tacos. Let's go. That sounds amazing. That sounds so fire right now. That sounds like phenomenal. I need that. We just had some chalupas though, which were actually fabulous. They were really good as well. That sounds a little bit. I gotta be honest with you. That sounds a little bit better, but we are enjoying some delicious meals today. Oh no, it's me. Seriously, Sebastian, welcome in. Oh no. Big South City, welcome into the stream. I appreciate you being here so much. Sebastian said, I'm completely remodeling my room at the moment. Ooh, what does that entail? Talk to me about that. Thank you so much for joining on YouTube as well. I appreciate it. What all does that entail? What all are you remodeling? Is it just decorative? Are you kicking walls out and raising ceilings and stuff? What are you doing? That sounds like a deep project, but it also sounds really fun. Yeah. What am I, fellow attention deficit order of disorder? Well, yeah, twins in the building. Anyone else? Let's all bond. Who else can't pay attention for longer than about 3 seconds before their mind jumps to something else? And trying to hang in there has been rough. It's okay. I'm so sorry to hear that, Snow. Voodoo, welcome in. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So are you doing like a music review? Similar, but a different structure here. So what we do at Track Talk, we're about to hopefully get into just a couple songs tonight. But if you've never been here before, these are 20 to 30 minute consultations. So maybe similar in some format to a review, but much, much longer and more in depth. So 20 to 30 minutes long, 2 to 3 times through your song, multiple times through your song, to give you really in-depth, nuanced breakdown of the structure of your mix, production, sound design, lyric, and song structure. We're going to get into the kind of the specifics and the nuances of all those things. And the goal of the live stream, the goal of the structure of these consultations is to offer specific, professional, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. So we have producers and artists and engineers, songwriters, vocalists, musicians send in their music, and then we spend about 20 to 30 minutes breaking it down. Like I said, ideally offering some very, very specific, actionable feedback. That's the goal of the stream. And for those of you who don't know, we're just getting things moving. Let me double check a few things here real quick. But for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Torvik. I'm a full-time engineer, producer, and session musician. That's kind of my background. That's the structure of this live stream. I'm also a classically trained musician. So the goal of this stream is kind of focused on that and just offering some real tools and tips and advice and a professional second set of ears to give you maybe some of the tools that you need to polish what you're doing. Or if you're incredible at what you do, then I also want to shine light on the things that you're doing incredibly well so that everybody in the chat and all of the different platforms that we're live on can gain some knowledge from your experience as well if you are already a very accomplished musician, artist, producer, whatever it may be. So that's kind of the loose structure. Drama Doll, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it a lot. Give me 1 second just to catch up on a couple chats and stuff here. Drama, thank you so much for that. Let me just make sure that I'm caught up. Done. Everything. Let's see. Can I voice post it instead or FaceTime you? What do you mean, Sebastian? What do you mean? So how odd, while I was doing this, you came up in this year. I have lit up compared to when I started years ago. I remember battle production. So this past year came up with my name, hence reboot my whole sound and level. So this year I want to get. Yeah, I remember. You sent him one song. Like, was it last week, right, Sebastian? Am I remembering that correctly? Give me just 1 second. Let me get caught up here. Let me get caught up. 1 moment. Too distracted to remember what I forgot. No, that's so true. So it's so valid. So true. We're gonna get into you. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Let me throw up the queue. The queue is up on. Oops, that's the wrong button, and the line is not. Give me 1 second. I gotta update this. Give me 2 seconds so I can. Get the line back up on the board. Let's get this up. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. That way I can get the line back up. Line is up on YouTube and Twitch. Let me just get this. I've got to re-update this. Always something. Always something. There we go. And it should be live. There we go. Beautiful. Jensen, thank you so much for hopping in. Okay. 1 second. And y'all let me know if you're over on TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube. Talk to me. What kind of music do you make? I see a lot of new people in the chat. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. I appreciate it so much. Talk to me about what kind of music do y'all make? Let me just catch up on the chat here really quick. Would love to get Jersey Beats. Thank you so much for being here. Would love, or is it Jersey Beats? Jersey Beats, either one I could see working. Let me know. Would love to get some feedback. How do I send a beat instrumental in? Go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. Thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. We're gonna get rolling with a couple submissions here in just a little bit. Let me just get a couple things updated, catch up on the chat, all that good stuff, and we'll get flowing. Let's see, Andrew Morgan Starner Music. Andrew, if you would like to submit, just like I said a second ago, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. Andrew, thank you so much for the hand heart. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for your generosity. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you so much for that. Let me make sure I'm caught up over here. Nico makes soul. Ooh, let's go. How long have you been doing that, Nico? I love it. Let's see. This was and let you know you got my thumb tapping the screen so quick trying to keep up. No, you're good. Sebastian, I'm also chatting with Twitch. I'm chatting with TikTok. I'm chatting with YouTube randomly. So I'm going to be cycling through, watching a couple different screens to make sure I'm caught up with other people's, their comments and stuff too. But I appreciate you being here. Already thinking about UFOs? Hell yeah. Retrack, thank you so much for the heart me, man. I appreciate that a lot. Non-Rizzler, welcome in. Thanks for tapping into the stream. Jers FC said, you said it right. Jers, not like Jersey. Beautiful. I wanted to make sure because Jersey would technically make sense. I wanted to make sure I got it right. But thank y'all so much for joining the stream. We're going to get moving with some music here in literally just a few minutes. Non-Rizzler, thank you so much for joining the stream. Let me make sure I've got my emails updated here and all of my processes up to where they're supposed to be. Oh, no. Yeah. Wide open, Rizzler. Wide open. We literally just hopped on 4 minutes ago. We're just getting things flowing, getting things moving. I'm chatting with the chat. So we're wide open right now. If y'all would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, click on Track Talk Submission. If you're on YouTube, go to the description for the live stream. If you're on Twitch, type _submit right there in the chat, and you'll see everything that you need in order to submit for a consultation. Once again, these are 20 to 30 minutes long. These are pretty deep dives. We're going to get into the details of your mix, production, sound design, lyric, and song structure. We're going to spend 20 to 30 minutes, really digging into the nuances, multiple listens to your song to get into the details of those tracks. This is not a quick review. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. This is a really deep dive, long form consultation. So I want to make sure that y'all have all of the details that you need. So if you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link and click on Track Talk Submission. Please read through it and follow all of the details there. If you have any additional questions, there's also an FAQ. And if you still, for whatever reason, have more questions past the FAQ, there is also a terms of service that will give you even more in-depth, analysis on what you need to know in order to submit for the live stream. Just want to make sure, yes, only paid submissions. Yes, it's not a quick review. It's not a quick space here. We're gonna spend a good chunk of time. It is a paid service. Gabagool, thank you so much for hopping in. Let me make sure I'm caught up over here as well. So I found a few tracks that stood out. I want to know, but arrogantly, don't powder puff me. I want a strong foundation. Never. You know what's cool, Elizabeth? You are when I want to roll like a banana croissant. Oh, I'm overloaded. Sebastian's like he's all over. He's all over. All over. Okay, let me update a few things here, and let me keep track of some of the people that I just had come in. So let's get some things flowing here. Jers, what kind of beats do you make? What kind of what style, or do you work in a variety for the most part? Talk to me. What kind of style, what kind of genres you tend to work in? I'm assuming you are working largely as a producer and as a instrumentalist for the most part. So talk to me. I would love to know what you're working on. Let's see. Let's get this update over here. Love of the word rolls off the tongue. Gabagool. It's time. Ooh, don't forget that note. Kind of a vibe. It's a little Spy Kids or something. We'll get some things flowing here in just a second, y'all. Do I have this up to? Let me just make sure. I'm gonna keep the lineup. I'm gonna keep the lineup over on Twitch and YouTube here for a second. So if you would like to see the line order minimums and stuff like that, I'm gonna keep that up from the other day. That way we can we have a clear understanding of where things are at. Helios is in the building. What's up, Helios? It's so good to see you, man. I hope you're doing all right. No. What's up, man? So good to see you, man. So good to see you. Today on As the World Turns. Moment, got in this moment with you. I can't control it. Jay Steele's in the building. What's up, Jay Steele? Good to see you, man. I can't control it. The way I feel when I'm with you. Love can be fragile, but baby, I'm broken without you. It would be tragic for us to never see this through. unironically with the shirt as well. Let go of all the reasons why the wind will take us where we're going, and the sun will kiss us till we're golden. Oh. Jesus, don't listen to these chords, man. What's up, Jet the Third? Welcome in. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hopping into the live stream. Don't worry about these augmented chords we got going on here. And Helios, I got you. All right, let me get a couple things updated here. Let me get some things flowing. And yeah, it's all about tension. It's all about a little tension, a little release. Yeah, I did, Sebastian. Yes, in fact, this is a shirt. Libby actually made the artwork for this. It's a song called Paper Planes. You can go check it out. It's been on platforms for like 2 years now, two to 3 years, something like that. Let me get Helios up on the board, and then we're gonna get going with some music here in just like a second. Let's get the likes to 3K on TikTok real quick, and then we'll run up some music here in a second. All right, let me get Helips up on the board. Let's not do that. What is going on? What am I mistyping here? Jesus. All right. Jesus. Type normal, man. All right, let's go. My brain is glitching. Sounds good. Let go of our reasons why the wind will take us where we're going. And the sun will kiss us till we're golden. Oh. Helios up on the board. Yeah, Helios. Hey, that's your next name change, Helios. That's your next name change. Tell me that you're down for the ride. Won't breathe for the first time. Yeah. Leave all the problems far behind. And I'm falling close. Why is TikTok your biggest hater, Sebastian? Are you trying to hop on over there and it's not letting you? TikTok be a bit sorry, my allergies, y'all. A bit glitchy. Cole Parnell's in the building. Thank you so much for being here, Cole. I appreciate you tapping into the stream. Make sure if you're over on TikTok, make sure y'all are liking the live, share it the live with a few people. I would love to get the algorithm and everything moving over here. In just a few minutes, we're gonna get some things flowing here in a second. Let me just look. I'll be on the lookout for Snow's email. Goodness gracious. And I should have everything updated on the line. Beautiful. Yeah, I just have Zach from the other day. I don't got a handle on where I'm going. I need your hand to help me. What do you where? To submit? Is that what you're talking about, Sebastian? Andreas, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to the stream over on TikTok. What are y'all up to today? What are y'all up to? Talk to me. It's quiet. I use all the new rules, and since I super into my videos about the tracks, I think any song is drugs. That's weird. That's not typical of TikTok. Boom. Email address 8607. Play Mozart. I'd have to hear it. I'd have to see it, and then maybe I could. I can play one of my senior pieces. Actually, I don't have enough keys. I am limited. Dude, Torvik, I got restricted last night for saying, well, I don't want to say it now because I might get restricted. Dude, I got restricted for saying that? That's crazy. It's a weird world. One of my senior pieces was the Prelude in C sharp minor by Rachmaninoff, which I don't have enough keys for, so I gotta like change octaves here. Let me see, change octave. Man, I haven't played this for. Nope, wrong octave. Come on, controller. Jesus. Yeah, anyways. Let me see. That was so, yeah, someone is like, someone's probably just like trying to get to you. You know what I'm saying? they're just trying to mess with you or something like that. All right, hold on. Let me double check over here real quick. Something's wrong with it. Okay, if you would like to submit, Sean, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that so much. Life, you didn't hear me respond to you on the last live. Maybe you dipped out before I responded to you. Okay, let me see. Yeah, Sean, if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. You'll see all of the steps right there. Oh, because you asked last time and then I answered, but you must have dipped for a second, or maybe it glitched or froze for a second. Yeah, I'm trying to get a pretty clean update this week, but it's just hard with the holidays. We were out for the last 2 days with family, like my grandmother's Christmas with all of the extended family, and then in 2 days. Let's see what it's snow. And then later this week, it'll be a little bit harder. I'm going to try to get some more done tomorrow. I'm going to try to have a bit more to update. I know. I was like, I can only do so much. This is a tough month. This is a tough month right now, just because there's more travel, there's more events, there's more family stuff. Yeah, it probably gets. I was going to say, I answered it I think it was like a day or two ago that I answered it. But yeah, it probably just glitched. But I'm trying to get some updates here in between, but it's hard. Like we were literally out, not here. No, not at all. Life explosion. Not at all, dude. It's crazy right now. Yeah, we were out for like 14 hours yesterday, just with so many different things going on. So I'm doing my best in this time, like end of the year. This is just hard, to get some updates. Tough month, tough project, tough year. Yeah. No, I'm just, it's like, here's the thing is like, I'm trying to be present in the season because I love the season. I really do. Like, I want to be, no worries. No. Yeah. You're good. No worries. Or Helix. Yeah. Either way, send it over when you got a V. Welcome in. Yeah. Like I want to just embrace the time. I want to just I just want to be in it. We're doing our best, to just make it festive and keep doing our thing and whatever. But at the same time, it is challenging. I'm ready for it to be over. Uh, 2 months. Quintilly, thank you so much for hopping in. Yeah, Sean, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. No! Instead of a few minutes. Hold on. Let me get this mouse working over here. Quintilly, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm just waiting for that one file to come in as well. Thank you so much for the follow, Quintilly. I appreciate that so much. I mean, dude, Explosion. I told you from day one. This is not a quick project. It's going to be very, very largely based on the quality of each different. I'm getting vocals that are done, that are balanced already. I'm getting vocals that are recorded horribly. I'm getting other vocals. Those are, I'm getting other vocals that are recording decently, but with clipping. And then I just got a fresh batch of 7 different vocals with layers and ad-libs, also all completely recorded differently just in the last week and a half. So it's a lot. All of that in the middle of all of the holidays. So all of that in the middle of traveling out, all of them in the middle of Thanksgiving, and then getting into this month with the holidays, amongst having to still work on other stuff, still having to work, still having to do a lot of other things. So yeah, I told you from day one, this is not a 3-day mix on one vocal and 2 track. This is also, yeah, but you're also bringing up the timeline. Well, this is not even just a mix. It'd be one thing if it was just the mix on all those vocals, but it's also building from scratch off a reference the entire production, which is 60 tracks. So that's from scratch all through the production, as well as mixing in the vocals, and then balancing all of those while getting brand new vocals in, that some are even in a different time signature to the production. So it's a lot to balance. This is not a quick. These are the kinds of projects that you'll see with major, you go to a major label, and if there's a project with a major label that has this many artists on it, a huge cipher with a bunch of artists on it, a lot of times projects like that take months and months and months and months and months because there's so many details to it. And I'm not willing to put something out that isn't quality. So you can trust that when I have updates, I'll be offering them because I want you but I can only update as much as I have fresh information to update you on, right? So I will always make sure that I'm updating you on any changes that I need, any updates that I need, any files that I need to work out, updates on hey, I got a new artist put in here. I'll send it your way. But it's a lot. It's a lot. So this is a project that is. I know it has taken a month and a half, 2 months, whatever, but this is a tough one to balance in the midst of still having to take on lots of projects in order to pay the bills. So it's always in a flow, especially with the new projects coming in, I'm sorry, with the new vocals coming in for that project as well. But yeah, if I have updates, I'll offer them to you. Quintelli, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate it so much. And V, thank you so much for the heart me and the Go Popular as well. All right, give me 1 second here. Let me update the email over here. Yeah, I'll offer any updates that I have because I want you to stay in the loop. But that all is dependent on the kind of loop that I have to update you on. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, is anybody doing anything fun for the holidays? I know for a lot of people nowadays, it's really chill. They're trying to simplify as well. New FC, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. A lot of people are trying to simplify and keep things pretty mellow. But if y'all are doing anything fun, if you're traveling, if you're doing anything specific, let me know. I would love to hear what y'all are doing for the holidays. We also just have so much a ridiculous amount of family, and so it is constantly new things, constantly trying to figure. Also, there's a bunch of other family things that we're dealing with right now that make this even more complex and more busy right now than it typically would be. It's typically just a couple days, of whatever you call it, holiday get-togethers and stuff. Zion, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. And then still trying to work as much as we possibly can in the middle of it, as well as a bunch of other family things that we're trying to figure out in the midst of it all. It's crazy. Stefano, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to the live stream. Working. Yeah, no, literally. We're that's the reason why I'm on tonight is we're in the middle of doing family stuff, in the middle of trying to still, be around, be present somehow. And then be okay, well, we still need to tackle projects. We still need to get some stuff done. And it's a hustle. It's a grind. All right, let me see. Helios, is this another cinematic? Is this another cinematic production we're about to listen to? Luminary, thank you so much for hopping in. What are you up to today? Let's go. I love it, man. B. Powell said, first time heading to Costa Rica, taking the family. That sounds amazing. That sounds fun. That sounds like a nice little kind of disconnection from the hustle and bustle, if you will, and you can let me know if you want to, B. Powell, where you're originating from, where you're going from Costa Rica from. So it gives me kind of an understanding of what distance there is from your normal life to that. But yeah, Costa Rica sounds like it'd be I would love to do that 1 year. Like I said earlier, we get such a, crazy family structure and stuff that we're usually just, indeed, we all need to break Colorado. Yeah. I mean, you're flat central. That's going to be a nice break, especially from like the winter weather too. Obviously, that's going to be quite a bit different from Colorado. I love Colorado. I don't know if I would ever personally would want to move there, but it is beautiful. I've been several times, 3 or 4 times, and I love it. Colorado is really beautiful. But yeah, that's a big, especially if you're in any of the major cities. That is a huge difference. That is a huge difference. I would love one year to just like take a bit of a break from all of just like the craziness and just take like a isolated trip and like celebrate on our own. It'd be kind of nice. As much as I love all of the gatherings and all the, all that fun stuff, there's something that feels really nice to just like quiet down, isolate for like a week somewhere beautiful, and just like disconnect for a second. Tariq, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. How are you feeling today? All right, I'm just double let me see. Let me just double check a few things here. I'm gonna keep this refreshing here. But I do agree, B. Powell, that we do all need a break. Desperately, more than ever, more than ever. I'm saying, man, it's hard when you live. HD, welcome in, Landon. Thank you so much for joining the stream on TikTok. I appreciate you being here. Y'all keep tapping the screen over there as well. But it is, especially for like, I live my life kind of in front of screens, as much as I like love my job and love so many of the different, things that I do, right? Like as much as I love like mixing music and producing music, like sometimes you just gotta not like listen to, not have headphones on, and like not be listening all the time. It's just, it's necessary, especially when you work in a creative industry, especially when you work in like a high stimulus industry, especially if you're online a lot, by default of having to then promote those services and stuff like that. It's necessary. But that also, that's it, that takes financial flexibility, obviously, in order to do that for the most part. So that's the thing we're working on the most. That's the thing we're working on the most. Landon, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you tapping in. Absolutely, H, 100%. Absolutely. I would say like, every live or every other live, we usually get an artist or sometimes a couple, just kind of depends on who comes in, that are, in a different language, different styles, different genres, different levels of preparedness. So we're going to get a little bit of everything. So yeah, I would absolutely love to hear. If anyone does want to submit, we're going to get into some consultations here in just a little bit. Go to my profile, click on the link, click on Track Talk Submission. If you're over on YouTube, just go to the description for the live stream. You'll see everything that you need right there. And if you are on Twitch, you can type !submit right there in the chat, and you'll see everything that you need. I do it all the time. 4 phones, multiple apps. I join combos 10 minutes at a time. Yeah, that's like the way it is for me here. Like I've got literally 2 laptops running at the same time. So I've got my laptop over here with like 6 different apps and plugins going at the same time. I've got another screen that's got Pro Tools and whatever other stuff I need on it. And then I've got this computer over here that's running TikTok and Live Studio. And I got my phone to check in on the streams, get notifications, get credit in. And then the camera up here and all the stuff. And then there's just like the actual instruments and things that we're talking about, the recall. It's very high stimulus. It's very like, it's not like the most healthy. And so I'm trying to find a balance of like doing what I do and doing the work that I do, but at the same time being conscious of being able to like disconnect and like turn my brain off for a second, which is very difficult. It's very, very challenging for me to do. H, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. Preaching to the choir, 100% Helios, you get it. But it can be challenging at times to just hit disconnect, turn it off. Unite. Exactly, Helios. Dun, dun. See, I do it all the time. I raged the first one I got and was talking to Sweetwater Tech. The sound engineer expert asked me a very important question. Are you willing to go broke for sounds? This is not, yeah. Have several times. I've had to buy and sell and barter and trade. And I feel like every time I move, but talking to the sound guy, he basically assured my thought even more, telling you the way he talked about Son, honestly, we talked for three. You talked to 3 hours. You talked to three for real. You talked to 3 hours. To hear Sweetwater sound engineer is crazy. It's crazy. Oh, Torvik, I found out recently that I am. I know. I'm trying to be aware of what I can say on. Like I'm live right now on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. So I gotta keep in mind of what's like free to say on YouTube versus what TikTok will allow me to say without being weird about it. Did you actually get a acoustic? Just say tube. No, I know, but he's saying words that I can't say on TikTok. That's the important thing, or that they throttle and are weird about. Did you go get a diagnosis, Helios? Apparently, I've heard that that's like okay. Actually, I don't know. I get mixed signals. I'll look stuff up. I'll try to like search things, and then sometimes I'm like, it's like fine, and they're like, I don't know. I get like mixed things all the time. I'm like, hey, I know TikTok's pretty limited. TikTok's pretty limited sometimes. Because I was like, yeah, no, exactly. yeah, 100%. We've had to do the same. Like when we can't, afford to get, really like, well documented like diagnoses and stuff like that. It's like we start to take all the tests, put all the pieces together, look at our lifestyle, look at the kind of the fruit, and then we're like, adds up. It adds up. A lot of it adds up. Sounds good, Sebastian. Yeah, we've had to be self-diagnosed for a lot of things, such as the world these days. John's in the building. What's up, John? Welcome into the live stream, man. Welcome in. Has to do with the problem. He's like, wait, hold on. What do my parents have to do with it? Hold on 1 second. It all suddenly makes sense. Seriously, Helios. Berlin has helped me better navigate myself and stuff. So it was a blessing. Yep, we've done the same thing. Space Dust, welcome in. Leo, welcome in. It is like you can kind of look into your past a little bit and be like, like all these like different things start, like you get to kind of check these boxes and be like, oh man, like now I understand like my familial issues. Now I understand these past friendships and relationships. So now I understand my responses in certain environments and stuff like that. And it can make a huge difference, man. It can make a huge difference of, like you said, just understanding yourself and also understanding how to like navigate the world and where to like put up boundaries and self-help when it comes to like navigating your environments and where you want to go and don't want to go and what you want to do and don't want to do and who you want to be around and don't want to be around, and having some level of context for that. It matters a lot. I know. I like the like symbols right now. What is it? I can't see it on my end, or let me see if it'll pop up on. Will it pop up on TikTok on my phone? Oh yeah, what is that? Yeah, little like geometric, like little shapes and gifs and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Tapping over here. Pressure, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. No. All right, let me get this refreshed here. A quick reminder that if you would like to submit for a consultation, if you would like to, we're getting into maybe just a few tonight. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link and click on Track Talk Submission. And we'll get you up on the board, ready to go. Pressure, thanks for hopping in. Corey, I appreciate you being here as well. Organize my dress shoes really quick. Beautiful. Uncle Rob's in the building. Dun, dun, dun. The RAADS and scored very yeah 100%. Under pressure. Let me see. Learning more about myself in the last few years. Yeah, 100%. Hard and helpful. Yep, 100%. I agree. Jay's in the building. What's up, Jay? Welcome in. Daniil, welcome in as well. Fool on a Hill's in the building. Welcome, Fool on a Hill. Hope you're doing amazing today. It never does bring me down. I'm feeling too high right now. Palace on a hill, seeing my mind's eye, swear it's all mine. Reality is a bitter pill, but I swallow till I come down. 'Cause I feel too high right now. All right, just waiting on a few things, y'all, and then hopefully we'll get moving here in just a moment. Dude, I have it right here. I want to, but I'm waiting on I have a project that I'm building. You still have the video recording? I still have it right here. Let me see. I've got the. Let me open this up real quick. Yeah, I still have the track that I actually bounced out to work on it, but I'm saving it for a big like another project. I'm saving it for another project that I want to dig into. That needs a lot. It needs a long timeline. It needs a lot of work, but I still have the file right here. That go on. For a raw.
I go around on fire, like a flame caught in a wave. I try to make it brighter.
Reboot, welcome over.
But I'm too far gone to save. I hold my breath until it aches. I brace myself.
I know, I really like it, man.
I clench my fist until it shakes.
That was back when we were in Dallas. That was a crazy time.
Hypnotized by orange and yellow, I fix my eyes till I feel mellow. I'm falling deeper in this love, falling back. Held so dear when I was little, I go back there when I feel brittle. I'm falling deeper in this.
You have heard this. Reboot, I'm glad TikTok's working for you. You have heard this, but it's been like two. Yes, you have. It was back when you were in school. I made this on one of the lives when you were like house sitting or something like that, and it was one of the super late lives when I was doing them at like 2 a.m. and like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. crazy stuff. And I made it way back then because I was talking about. But that would have been then that I showed you. I know. I mean, it's crazy because we first moved there almost 3 years ago. So it's probably been. I probably first created this about 2.5 years ago. But I wrote this talking about. I wrote 2 songs. Galaxy was one of them. Caught in your galaxy. That whole song was object writing. Safe was object writing. Poison was object writing. A lot of my songs I build off object writing, and I feel like they're the most lyrically like polished. I like them a lot. That's crazy, Libby. That's nuts. That's crazy. But yeah, and then this song I made off object writing. I made Galaxy off object, and then I did this song off object writing as well, where we were just like lava lamp was kind of the thing, and then we built kind of all the imagery and all of the structure for this, and I did it on live, which is fun. If that would be interesting to y'all too, like I don't know, I don't have any. Here's like the problem with my world right now. This is a problem with my my world right now is like I don't ever work on my own. Like again, I made this demo 2.5 years. Like most people are like, yeah, dude, I've been sitting on the song for 4 months, or like I've been sitting on the song for a year. This is one of like 100 demos. Thank you for the follow reboot. Like this is one of like 100 demos that I have that I've made like 2 to 4 years ago. I don't work on my music at all. I don't have time. I don't have energy. I can't, devote attention to it with all the other things that have going on. So the problem with like the position that I'm in is like it's very difficult for me to ever work on my own music because my own personal stuff doesn't make money. It doesn't pay the bills, right? And so I'm trying to find like ways that I can still enjoy the thing that I actually love the most, right? Which is my own personal creativity and building on that, all while like it doesn't make sense for me to spend time doing it. But if there's like a way where maybe I was like live streaming, talking about songwriting, writing songs on the live, doing object writing, kind of like I did a couple years ago. I would live stream late, do a couple consultations, and then I write a couple songs, talk about object writing and stuff like that. I mean, if that would be like interesting to y'all, if that would be, something that would be like valuable and entertaining to watch, let me know, cause I never know until like I just keep doing what I'm doing just because it does what it does. But if that would be interesting, let me know. I'm just kind of continuing to do what's in front of me to do. Reboot, thank you so much for the rose. I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, I did create this one off object writing too. It was based, so the object was Lava Lamp. And so that's when we came up, I just wrote out all of these lyrics. Make an album and put it on a cool looking jump drive instead of an album and a CD. I do want to do a CD because like CDs is like our vintage, you know what I mean? Like if you're like a 90s kid, like cassettes and CDs are our version of like vinyls sometimes. Like it'd be kind of cool to do like a full sleeve with a track list and descriptions, like a fold out with descriptions of all of the different tracks and stuff. I think I might do that. Like the next time that I get into a mode where I'm able to do an album, which has been since 2020. That I was able to, that was my last album was 2020. And it was just crazy that's, coming on 6 years ago, the last time that I've put out a full project. This is insane to me. Because I put one out in 2019, put one out in 2020, and I thought I was going to keep going, and then COVID just made everything go crazy. But I would love to do like limited edition, like CDs. I only make like 100 of them, and then that's it, and it's like really limited. It'd be fun. Wait, like literally think of an object that's kind of cool. When I get done, I'm gonna find a space, look at a drum drive, and sell the music on them. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Junior Odd, thank you so much for hopping into the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, object writing is actually, I made a whole entire YouTube video. So if you go to my YouTube channel, where we're also live right now, if you go to my YouTube channel and you search on the channel, you can search for object writing. I have a whole like detailed like 20-minute video on Dylan. Thank you for the follow, and Reboot. Thank you for the lightning, and thank you for the rose. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support so much. But I have a whole long form YouTube video on object writing, not only what it is and how you do it, but also I also show exactly how I did that in a song that I wrote and released. So you can actually see the process laid out, how I did object writing. But yeah, it's essentially I usually use a random word generator or like a random noun generator. That way you can do something really, really specific. And so in this case, like the object that came up was Lava Lamp. And so for 10 minutes on a timer, I literally just on a voice or on a note, I just wrote every single thing it's not structured at all. Every single thing about Lava Lamp that just comes to mind, just the way it looks, the way it feels, the way like the experiences that I have with it, just random things that feel connected to me, and I just dive into those details, right? And this allows you to go really, really broad on really niche subjects and then connect them to story, right? Like it allows you to kind of go all over the place with something and build a structure off of that, and it keeps your songs from being too on the nose. It keeps your songwriting from being too like literal and basic and simple, and allows them to feel a little bit more complex. Because I'm not just like trying to write a love song, right? Or I'm trying to write like a relationship song, or I'm mad at the world song, whatever it may be, right? Like, or a heartbreak record. I'm not trying to just target that emotion. I'm trying to like open up my vocabulary to a very, very broad sense and connect to other emotions from that. And so it makes things feel way, way, way more creative. And I highly, highly recommend it. So go check out that video on object writing on my channel. It goes incredibly in depth on how to do it and exactly how that plays out in writing a song. It's really, really cool. Even if it doesn't turn into a song, it's really, really fun to just I'll do it like I haven't done it as much lately. I used to do it once a week. I used to do it once a week, every single week on the nose, where I would just it's 10 minutes, spend 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be a song. You never have to use it. It's a good training for your like lyrical, like vocabulary in your song. It's one of the things that I'm like the most passionate about. I love songwriting. I love song structure. Like that to me is one of the things that I feel like I really have a lot of respect for and a lot of energy that I put towards. And so I highly recommend y'all checking out object writing. It's a great tool. And there's like a whole book on it and stuff too by a professor out of Berkeley, I believe that, or MIT or something crazy that actually structured that whole thing. And there's a whole book on it. Definitely, man. I appreciate it. Okay. Helios, where are y'all at? Let me know where you're at. No, no pressure, but let me know where you're at so I can keep things updated here. One sec. I feel mellow, I'm falling deeper in this overlap. Where is let me see, what's the key on this thing?
I can run on fire.
Yeah, no worries.
Like a flame caught in a wave. I try to make it brighter.
Like a world on fire. Yeah, that's the key. D major, B minor. Like a flame caught in a wave. I try to make it brighter, but I'm too far gone to say. I hold my breath until it aches. I clench my fist until it shakes. I think that's the wrong order of the lyrics. I clench my fist until it shakes. Hypnotized by orange and yellow, I fix my eyes till I feel mellow. Perfect. And I'm falling deeper in this lava lamp. I want to finish that, but that's gonna be on a project. That's gonna be probably in the cycle of like synthwave 80s stuff that I have. So I've got to hold off on that one, but I haven't even touched it since then. I got off that live. I like balanced the demo so I could shoot it to my. I balanced it after the live so I could shoot it to my drive, so I could like listen in the car and like just try to get more ideas for it and stuff. But I haven't touched it since then. 2.5 years, dude. Haven't touched it since then. I would love to, but when I get in album mode, then I'm gonna wake up a bunch of projects and get some things moving. All right, they're sending over now. Beautiful. Hypnotized my. That song totally just sings to my soul, dude. Core memory. 100%. That was a fun. I mean, that was the wild west of TikTok. That was the wild west of TikTok, where you could hop on and get 50 people in there, 40, 50 people in there, board full, going crazy, up late at night, doing 7-hour lives sometimes, 8-hour lives sometimes. It was crazy. Yeah, I mean, it was fun because I got through like 20 submissions. Like I got through like a crazy live, and I was just like, hey, I got nothing better to do. Let's just like keep making music. I think Trill hopped in one time. That's when I started also producing it. It was a different live, but I think that same week where I was gone, right? So like, or where when Libby was like house sitting or whatever it was. I think it was like the next day or something like that, where Trill hopped in, and then that's what I actually produced or started producing. He's like, hey, I'll send in some raw vocals if you want. Send in the raw vocals. I started building his track, and it became a whole song that worked. He still hasn't released it though. He still hasn't. I produced it and mixed it, and he still hasn't come around to releasing it. He's probably just waiting for the right time. But that's a cool record. I like that. I like that production a lot. It was a cool production. All right. Leeville's in the building. What's up, Leeville? Welcome in. Hypnotized by orange and yellow, I fix my eyes till I feel mellow. I'm falling deeper in this lava land by. All right, hold on. What's going on here? Give me 1 second, y'all. Well, I feel like this is being really glitchy. Is TikTok smooth for y'all? Is TikTok smooth for y'all? It's been a bit glitchy on my end, but I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's not too bad. Hey, good evening, Smokey. Welcome in. Melly, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. It's good? Okay, good. It looks I'm on another account to try to keep this updated, but it looks, I'm gonna try closing out. Give me a sec. Millie. Ray Boy's in the building. Oh, it's glitchy. Thank you for the follow, Millie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. And thank you for the love you as well. I appreciate the gifts. Thank you for that. Okay, sounds good. Just came in. Yeah, just came in. A million here. Yep. Facts. All right. Bro, is it a waste buying a Poly D synth? Please help. No, never. It's never a waste buying a synth if you know what to do with it. Even if you don't, just get it anyways. Oh, you're totally good, Snow. You're totally good. No worries. It is never a waste to get a Poly D. It's one of my favorites. I have a decent chunk of synths. One of my favorite synths. One of my favorite synths that I own. It's really versatile. It's a really powerful synth. Pretty good build quality. I mean, for a cheap, like a Behringer synth, it's pretty well built. I really don't mind it. Pretty good, Smokey. Pretty good. I have most of the foundation completely done. I had to re-edit, like I mentioned the other day, I had to re-edit a couple things, and switched the VST plugin, and I was gone all day yesterday. So I'm going to try to finish up tomorrow. I'm going to try to get you the file tomorrow, just because we were out for like 14 hours yesterday, and there's no way I could put the final polish on the plugin. So I'm going to try to get you your files like tomorrow afternoon. All right. Email is here. We're ready to go. All right. Snow, we got it. Let's dive in. Barry in the building. Barry, appreciate you hopping in. I know, I'm excited. It sounds so much better now with the other plugin. I think I mentioned this like 2 or 3 days ago, but I had an initial plugin on there, and it's like, it's working. It's fine. A reboot. Thank you for the GG. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that a lot. I had another piano on it, and it sounded, I was like kind of like similar to what we heard when we were first trialing it, and I was like, this is fine. It's fine. It like checked Snow. Thank you for the heartbeat. It checked the box of having it there, but it didn't feel like connected to your music. I think it is a real problem, but it's also, to me, it's like, it's got to be in service of the song, because it was like a good sounding piano isolated. So I would play it on its own. I would solo it, and I was like, oh, this is a good sounding piano. The part's fine. It's like simple and clean, some little melodies on the verses. And then I was just kept listening to it, and I was like, but it doesn't sound like Smokey's song. You know what I mean? Like, so I had like a good part and a good song, and they weren't connecting. Some of the stuff that I talk about on the live stream all the time. And so I was like, no, I need to switch the plugin. So I switched to a different piano plugin that sounded better, but then the parts didn't sound as good as they did when they were the original piano. So that's what we're reworking right now. And then, but it shouldn't be much. I should be able to polish it up pretty quick. Time Mind's in the building. Welcome in, Time. Okay, y'all, we got to get into the music here. This is the family Ever Snow right here in the building. This is a production from Ever Snow. This is called Wishing Well. Let's see, we got Wishing Well, All Mine. So this is all Snow. I know it's crazy. It's crazy. Time Mind. See, TikTok is glitchy. TikTok is so annoying. TikTok, get your shit together. I love you, TikTok. Keep doing your thing. But TikTok is so annoying. It gets so glitchy. Time I said it froze for a second when your eyes were moving, so they're rolling in the back of your skull. That's crazy. It was Time I know Time I loved it. I know Time I love it, but that's crazy. All right. It's going to be all overthink our work. I think, 100%. Constantly. I totally hate mixing my voice. Facts. Thankfully, like I have gotten to a pretty good place with like my own. I don't feel like I second guess my own. Some people are backwards. I'll be honest. Some people are, dude, my stuff is so hard to produce, and it's so easy for everyone, like for me to like mix for everyone else. I find it a lot easier to mix and produce my own stuff. I feel like I've gotten to a place in my own mind where I really, really trust my intuition production wise, and I really trust my ear and my intuition mix wise. So when I'm doing my own music, sometimes yeah, stuff takes a while. Don't get me wrong. There's songs that I sit on for long periods of time, but there's most of the time it's just because of time, not necessarily because I don't like the ideas. I feel like oftentimes when I'm producing, I can move pretty quickly. But when I'm mixing my own vocal and I'm mixing my own productions, I can move through it pretty quickly because I'm typically, at least for me personally, I'm typically like producing what I hear. Like I tend to kind of hear an idea and then put it on paper. And once what's on paper or what's in the DAW matches what's in my ear, I'm like, I'm good. I don't really second guess it anymore, and I move past it. But for other people's music, I feel this like immense pressure. I mean, especially doing it professionally, but like I feel this immense pressure not to just get it good, but to make sure that it is like the best possible representation of like my ear for their music as possible. And y'all probably hear some of that when we talk about the music and just the details that I want to get into when it comes to like talking about y'all songs and the things that I'm listening for. That's the same way that I approach working with you and working on your stuff, where I'm like, I am like trying to listen for every possible way that this could be better, could be more polished. And that's, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a standard that I hold for my work that I think is positive, but it also does make it challenging sometimes. It does make it challenging to like just move through a project and get it done, because I care. I care a lot about how my work is represented, and I care a lot about how how your song ends up sounding and stuff like that. Libby said, if I keep overthinking something too much at a certain point, I'll hate the entire project. That definitely happens to me too. There's sometimes that I am there's often times where I'm working on a project so much, my own or others, where I'm like, man, I have heard this hook so many times and I've worked through this piece so many times that at the end of it, I'm like, dude, I can't wait to not listen to this vocal again, which is unfortunate because sometimes I'm like, well, I don't even want to stream it when they finally put it out, but it makes it challenging. When I'm producing others, I do better. 100%. I think like this is most people. I'm like, man, why do I keep taking the fun out of this? I know. And that is the hard thing as well. Anyone who works at all in the space knows that challenge. And it also is challenging when you do something that you love and it also is your work. And that's something I run into all the time. It's one of the things like I was mentioning earlier, that it's very challenging for me to work on my own stuff right now. Like it doesn't feel like as fun for me to like try to like take an hour in an evening to like work on one of my songs, because I'm so tired. I'm so like exhausted from life and from everything else that is going on, that I'm like, I don't know how to have like creative headspace for something personally fulfilling. That is a challenge, because I don't get to turn off the music part, because I'm just working on music constantly. So that'll give you a good future. Hey, Smokey, I appreciate that so much, man. I do believe that as well. Like I do think that ear and that desire to have excellence in every record that I work on, whether it is just, fine tuning the VST in the piano that I'm using just for your track, or it's working on a full production for myself or anything else. I do believe that it is valuable to have it structured that way. I got to get back to the studio. People need honest reviews, not like 90% of the fakes. Hey, appreciate you so much, Smokey. Appreciate you a lot, man. I hope you have an amazing rest of your evening as well. Hating my voice. Yeah, you're not alone in that either. Michaela Michelle, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. How long has that taken you to feel that way? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind on the comments. I'm assuming you're asking about trusting your intuition. If you're still in here, let me know. And let me pull up Snow's track here. If that's what you're talking about, like trusting your intuition for your production and your lyrics and your mixes and stuff like that. If that is what you're referencing, I would love to answer that. Okay. This is Wishing Well. This is All Mine, based on the vibe of Snow White's Wishing Well. No vocals, just classical. It's an E flat major, BPM 125. And it's in 3/4. Beautiful. Let's get into it. Let me open up the track. Facts. 100%. Alan, thank you so much for hopping in. All right, let's get into it, Snow. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Trying to dial it in, not doing a well FM. Yep, cool. Let me pull up some strings while we're getting into this here. Let's go, Snow. I like the Foley too. The bird noises and stuff like that. Literally. I like the bar chimes too. I think that's what's kind of in the background there. Yeah, it's nice. That little pocket up there in the high end is really nice. Depends on what you want out of the synth. For oscillators, more than enough, depending on what you want to use it for. It's paraphonic, so it's not going to be the same as a polyphonic synth. So if you're wanting to do brassy chords, you're better off with something that can handle that. It's polyphonic versus paraphonic. And you can go cheaper than a Prophet for a polyphonic if you want to, for a first synth. Let's go. Yo, show some love, show some love, show some love. Ellie Johnson, welcome in. Yeah, sorry to jump in there. Yeah, so 4 oscillators, and we gotta get into Snow's track here. Shout out to Snow really quick. Shout out to Ever Snow. She produced and mixed this. This is her creative vision for this record here, kind of based off the Snow White kind of imagery and aesthetic and core here. So I'm excited to get into this. But yeah, really quick, the 4 oscillators is more than, that's one more oscillator. Ray Boy, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. 4 oscillators is more than enough, especially if you're doing a lot of like lead and bass lines and you want to do a couple like paraphonic sequencing or monophonic sequencing and arpeggiating and stuff like that. It's like a mini Moog with an extra oscillator with oscillator control with a Juno style core circuitry and distortion circuitry. So you get a lot out of it. It is a very impactful, very versatile synthesizer, but it is paraphonic, not polyphonic. So it is crazy for that price. It is pretty fantastic. It's like a 64-step sequencer. I've used it. I've had it for a couple years now. I use it all the time. It's pretty fantastic. But it means like since it's paraphonic, not polyphonic, that every single one of those oscillators is utilizing the exact same filter and the exact same envelope for every single note that you're hitting, as opposed to each one being assigned its own oscillator and its own voice card, right? Its own voice chip. So that being the case, you don't get the versatility of complete polyphony between all those different notes. Like that's where something like I have a Juno 106 back there. That's where something like the Juno 106 is beautiful. It's a 6-voice, fully polyphonic synthesizer that just sounds gorgeous and beautiful. So like if you want to go for like a profit, that's great. I mean, I would maybe suggest if you're looking for like a really mid-tier, pretty solid, like a pretty damn good synthesizer, mid-tier, let's say like under $1,500 or $1,500 or less, that does both monophonic, polyphonic 5 to 6 voices, with effects and with a sequencer and arpeggiation and stuff like that. I would probably look at either like the TO5. The TO5 is one that I'm looking at right now. It's an Oberheim TO5. It's a 5-voice polyphonic synth, but also does monophonic. Or the Take 5 by Sequential. So either one of those, they're about $1,500 new, but you can find them sometimes for like $1,200, $1,000 used. Just look on Marketplace, look on Reverb, eBay sometimes. You could probably find one for $1,000 to $1,200, used or open box, something like that. And both of those are 5-voice polyphony, full-size keys. I think it's a Fatar key bed, which is a really solid key bed. And then you still get all those other features, but you're going to get like really, really good sound design, and really, really good control. That's kind of next. I'm kind of looking at maybe selling a couple of things that I have in here and getting one of those because they're a little bit more compact. I could travel with it easier and stuff like that. That'd be something that I would look at. All right, let's get into it. This is Wishing Well by Ever Snow. Still lots of adjustment to balance. I always hear it better in this space. I love it. And that is kind of the nice thing. This is kind of an interesting thing, Snow, that I have figured out too, is oftentimes just the idea of separating, like even just like the conscious like separation of yourself from your music for a second when you send it out. It's like you immediately already start picking up on things, right? Just because your brain's attention is focused on something different, you switch from creative mode to more of a critical thinking mode. And I think that separation is so valuable. So sometimes even just like sending the song out and then you listening again, you're trying to kind of figure out what someone else is going to figure out as well. And you start to become more critical in a positive sense of your own track. You're like, oh yeah, all of that sounds muddy. I need to change that. I need to control and mitigate some of the muddiness of this progression or whatever. So I get that. Sometimes you're like, hey, like literally just sending it out gives you a little bit of an extra perspective on it. Ivey, thank you so much for hopping in. Mikey Summers, thank you so much for hopping in over on YouTube as well. How we doing? Okay, beautiful. Let me double check. Let me just get you up on the board. Got you, Mike. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Let me get you up there. And we'll get into that one as soon as we get through this track as well. Give me 1 second. Thank you so much for hopping in, Mikey Summers. Appreciate you so much. Beautiful. Boom. Got you on the board. Lovely. Fantastic. All right, let's get into it, Snow. Let's run it from the top and let's get into the structure here. I went too hard on the sound variation, too quiet in a lot of parts, too loud in others. So so right before we even get into, let me get that updated. Perfect. Before we even start listening it again, the thing that I'm hearing is not just loudness versus quietness, right? It's not just amplitude. It's also how movement constantly with many, many different levels, many different layers at the same time can create loudness and, versus quietness, and like high dynamic versus low dynamic, just by default of a lot of things happening at the same time. Let me give you like a quick example, right? I'm going to do this in like the most random way possible. But like I can go here, especially with strings. I'm going to keep this really quiet, right? Together so that all of these start to layer and overlap. You hear how all of a sudden we start to get this swell of energy. This is kind of an extreme example of this, just an extreme example of it. If all of these tones start to stack, even a bunch of, that's literally just me doing this. I'm not letting them overlap too much or change too much, but if I do the same thing and let them all blend and overlap, all of a sudden you get this burst of energy start to swell out of nowhere. This is an extreme example of like, that's a more exaggerated example of what's still happening a little bit in your track, because there's so much different movements and so many different layers that will start to overlap. Even if velocity wise, they're like quiet, there's so much information there that oftentimes it'll sound noisy or it'll sound busy or it'll sound louder, even if your amplitude's very low or like your volume's lower or like your velocity on the actual MIDI is lower. You'll get this buildup of frequencies. Same thing that happens like when we're talking about vocals, right? Or in any artist with vocals, where we talk about like your bass isn't super loud and this bass isn't super loud and this drum isn't like bad sounding, but that sub bass and that synth bass and the finger bass and the low pad and this kick drum all together creates this massive buildup of low end information as it compounds and resonates, right? So that's some of the stuff that we can listen for here a little bit as well, so that it doesn't feel noisy and busy. It feels, ethereal. There's good movement. There's good intrigue in the way that you build, melody and stuff like that. But it doesn't get too busy or too noisy in the sense that not enough things are pointed just in one direction. So that makes a lot of sense. So, all right, let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details here. And then Mikey, I got you up on the board. You're ready to go. So what I'm starting to kind of listen for is, are there too many, even though none of them necessarily are very loud, right? Like I said, there's not a lot of elements here that are like, that are just like, like they're pretty subdued. They're pretty mellow. But I think what's happening is even beyond amplitude, even beyond like actual decibel loudness, there's so many different changes and different melodies and different things that your brain is trying to pick up on, that it perceives it as noisier. It perceives it as loud. Like it's like watching like a Mr. Beast video, or you know what I mean? Like to give a random example, where there's so many things to look at and there's so many things to focus on and hear the changes of, that it can feel noisy and loud, even though all of the elements themselves are fairly subdued and fairly mellow. And so what I would try to work on, as you go back through this track and you try to like smooth it out a little bit, is how can you take half of the elements that you have right there and just simplify their structure? So kind of like we talk about in other songs of like choosing your non-negotiables, of like what of these and in your brain, this is me sometimes too, like in your brain, which is sometimes the way mine also works, all of them feel like non-negotiables. You know what I mean? Where like I want all of the ideas that I put there because I feel like they all hold a certain space, right? They all offer a certain, level of emotion and stuff like that. Match melodies and same instruments versus mixing up too many. Yeah, that's one part of it for sure. And the other is just simplifying where they are, right? So what I would decide loosely. And there's no rules to this, right? It's creativity, it's art, right? So there's not rules, but there's some practical steps that do make things more palatable. So what I would do is like, what to you is like a non-negotiable, like this melody has to be here. It's like it really needs to be there because to me it's like the core of everything. And that might be your low cello. And you might choose 3 or 4 things, right? It could be, let's say, your low cello that's carrying your lower melodies. It could be the high chimes that you have, which I think are beautiful, by the way. I love where they're positioned and honestly where they're balanced. I think that sounds really good. Sounds good, Mikey. I could send a Spotify link instead. Perfect. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you're good. If you could use that, they're different. Yeah, sounds good. I got you on Spotify. Like choose what you think like has to be present there. And then everything else, it doesn't mean you have to cut them out, but what you can do is simplify so that they're a little bit more cohesive. So as an example, if you want to have those beautiful chimes and bell tones over the top, and you want a cello that moves and ebbs and flows like the one that you have does, and you want some like pad strings in there that are like really gluey and they kind of float around a little bit too. Now, if you want those, because those are like your core elements that you want very, very consistent, then you might want to take your brass and do single notes at the bottom with a little transition, right? Like you might want to do, you know what I mean? Like you might want that to be like really pocketed and really smooth and really even so that it doesn't distract from the things you really, really love and really give, attention to, like maybe the cello and the bells and like stuff like that, right? So that's would be like my initial kind of gut response before we even get into it a little bit farther is find what you think, like go back through the song a couple times and find what you're like, I want everything here because I like the way it all sounds. What has to be forward and what is okay either being quieter, not there, or simpler. That way your attention, because what's happening now, currently speaking, is your attention is pulled everywhere, which means it's pulled nowhere, if that makes sense. Just like when we talk about if everything's loud, nothing's loud. If everything's quiet, nothing's quiet. If everything's wide, nothing's wide. You need the contrast and kind of the contradictions to those creative expressions in order for you to really feel the vibrancy in the mix and the production structure. So that's kind of what I'm listening to. If my focus is everywhere, then it's nowhere because I don't have enough mental bandwidth to like just sit and feel an experience. And so that would be probably my number one recommendation as we get a little bit deeper into the structure of this song is how can I make sure that I'm not pulling attention in so many different places that the attention ends up nowhere. And it kind of ends up being this almost like peripheral song where there's not enough in focus in order for people to just experience this beautiful lead cello that you have. Joseph, thank you for the heartbeat. I appreciate you so much. Ainer, thank you so much for being here as well. Right. And again, so it's too many ideas, but also taking some of those ideas and molding them. Right. So it's like, okay, brass, beautiful to have in there. It makes it feel very like royal. You know what I mean? Very, court walking in kind of, right? It's got a really, really nice feel to it. Simple might be better or just not always there. Just pulled out for half of it. And it only happens at like the 2.5 minute mark, 3 minute mark where you need a little burst of energy. It's just being a little bit more choice. Not the way you're saying it. How do you say it? Let me know how you say it. I want to make sure that I say it correctly. I don't want to mess up people's names. But hello, I appreciate you being here. I don't want to mess up people's names, so let me know. Please correct me anytime. Ainer. It's Ainer. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I always want to make sure that I'm saying y'all's name correctly. I appreciate you being here so much. All right, let's get back into the track. So I hear that. Like these really nice cello leads right there. I think that's where my brain wants to focus. But if you're going to focus there, then we need to clarify other levels. And then I think there's a second cello underneath it that's doing kind of a counter melody to it. Some of it in seconds where it clashes a little bit. So you might want to just like, if you're going to, so if you're going to, let's see, thank you for the follow, Ainer. I appreciate that so much. And wait, like just in the key over here, if you're going to have that kind of a, like having a bunch of movement over the top isn't bad, but if everything underneath it is moving, then that's where you'll lose it. Like if I start, I don't know how to do this with my hands. It would be easier in MIDI. Thank you, Stowe. If this will be, I don't know how I'll be able to, but kind of a. That, and those are all technically in the right key. They're technically all that reminds me more of what I hear in the track that you sent in, right? Well, there's not anything like specifically wrong about what's being played. They're technically in the right key. They're technically the same instrument, the same kind of a structure, but there's a completely different feeling from this. Just because of taking the same movement and kind of freestyle over the top and then keeping the bass line simpler, right? And so that's however you do that, of course, is completely up to how you want to structure it. But that's what I would look for. That's what I would like train your ear for, is when everything's moving, and that's just two instruments, that's just two hands. If that's also with another cello, with a bass line, with the brass, the like trumpets coming underneath it and stuff like, trombones underneath it, that are also moving, and then this is moving, that's when your brain starts to kind of move here. But if a progression settles you and grounds you, and melody allows you to float up here, then it feels so much more natural to listen to. So that is the loose structure that I would listen for. That's kind of the loose, again, doing that in your own creativity, in your own voice, in your own way that you want to build a structure. That's what I don't want you to do what I'm doing necessarily. I want you to find out what that looks like for you. That way you can still keep a very authentic creative structure at the same time as finding a method that feels palatable and feels like it makes sense for even just the average listener, while still being as edgy as you might want to be, right? That's kind of what I'm listening for. Let's listen a little farther. Let me skip forward just a little bit here. Quan, I got you. I think you might already be up here. Yep, I already got you up here. You're already on the board, man. Thank you so much for hopping back in. You sent in your track, right? And there's some chords in there that are gorgeous. There's some chords in there that are really, really beautiful, which is why I don't want my attention to be pulled, because I hear these like really nice, like they're like 1/3s, some really nice like expanded chords that they sound beautiful. They sound really, really nice. And then all of a sudden, dun, 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 I hear something kind of, it's kind of squirrel. I hear something happen over here. And then my brain moves over there. I'm like, oh yeah, the chords. And then the chords, I kind of feel them come back into play again. And so if you just take some of that distraction away and still have brass, still have bells, still have chimes, still have all of those things in there, but they're a little bit more pointed, a little bit more intentional, I think you'll be in a really good spot, Snow, because the sound design is beautiful. That's not in question at all. The ideas and the creativity is not in question. It's really about just like, how can I take this and remove as many distractions from your original vision as possible. I think that's kind of the challenge, I think, for most producers. It's like not only just creating something cool that's cool to you, but also making sure that it's framed in a way that the emotion you're trying to portray is actually translating to other people, right? That's what I would look for. All right, let's keep it going. I'm the same way. I totally understand. Totally understand. There's some really good pockets of this, really, really good pockets. So yeah, it's just like tightening. You know what I mean? It's just polishing. It's just forming. Because there's a lot going on, but there is like the bones of it, I think, have a lot of potential. And you just got to find, yeah, I think that's one of the keys, like I keep over mentioning, is just like honing in on what to you is a non-negotiable to have in here. Because the reality is a real orchestra or a symphony is going to have 50 pieces, you know, or 100 pieces and a crazy, you know, going crazy, but it's going to have 30, 40, 50 pieces that are going on at the same time. The difference though, is there might be like 6 violins all playing the same thing, 2 cellos creating a really, really nice bass movement, and one that is strictly doing a harmony to that bass movement. And then you have a full like upright and some timpanis filling in, but, and, you know, largely speak, and then you'll have like a flute that's fluttering by, and then it leaves to follow another melody. And that is complemented by a lower like 5th harmony on the oboe. And there's a lot going on all at the same time, but things are either complementary to each other or in unison with each other. And I think that's where we have to find common ground. It's like, focus on those 2 things. What needs to be in unison and what needs to be complementary, not just in its own space, but actually a conversation between elements that goes back and forth, right? That are in harmony with each other, in symphony, no pun intended, with each other, that feel like they're working together to create the same piece of music, the same aesthetic, and the same world that you're creating. That's what I would focus all of your attention on. Because I'm not even mad at like the balance of this. You know, I think it's just perceived noise. I'm not mad at the mix of it either, but I just think that the mix is determined by the perceived noise, right? If that kind of makes sense, where it's like, I don't even think I like mind the loudness of these different elements. I don't think I necessarily mind the decisions for positioning for a lot of these different elements. I think it feels noisier just because of positioning and timing on these different elements, but not necessarily because I don't actually like what I'm hearing. So that's what I'll focus your attention on. Love those little chimes at the top. Beautiful. And here, like, this is what I would like perceive as a lower dynamic moment in this song. It still feels like your velocities maybe a little bit hot on these higher strings, where you're still kind of getting this kind of, you know, it still feels very forward as opposed to being a little. And having like a little more like rest and a little bit more flow. So I would maybe hear when you're getting into what, again, I perceive as probably trying to be a little bit more of a lower dynamic moment, that it feels even more so like you can back off maybe the velocity a little bit, maybe automate some of the dynamics there so that it feels a bit more restrained in certain moments. So once again, in a line with maybe lining up more elements, being more complementary with the structure. Also, when all of the dynamics move, that they all move together. I mean, it's perfectly fine that you have quiet moments, necessary that you have quiet moments, because it will make those louder moments feel so much more dynamic. In the same way that if I all of a sudden come back down to, all of that like super quiet, like very almost timid production allows for having all of that, like being almost dramatically simple and light and airy, gives you so much more headroom to have the dynamics I think you're looking for. So I like on these moments here where I hear the piano, I hear like these lighter strings at the top end there, feel free to back way, way, way off, because it is going to give you so much more dynamic range, as opposed to one, it being kind of different all the time, but also a slightly higher velocity range most of the time as well. I think you can definitely have some room to simplify and kind of distinguish these different dynamic moments a little bit better, so it doesn't feel always busy, always loud. Even though I can tell there's some dynamic changing there, I think you could dramatize it even more. I think you could be even more exaggerated with that dynamic range. I think it'll make it matter more when you have all the brass and all those other elements in. Let me skip a little farther forward, and hopefully this is helpful as well, and hopefully it's all making sense. But this is probably one of the most cohesive, more orchestral cinematic productions I've heard from you, Snow. It feels the most in line to having some level of structure without being too rigid and sterile, which is, of course, to me, there's like a big bias where, like, if you're making VST based, like plug-in based cinematic music without any real strings, there's an interesting balance you have to find of being too quantized and rigid and under automated, where this sounds like VST strings and this sounds like a fake orchestra and you can like feel it, you can kind of sense it, or being too loose on the other side where it sounds like an orchestral warm-up and nothing's pointed together, nothing's working together. There's like a balance in the middle of like, how do I make this feel real and authentic and emotional, while also working in the digital realm with ones and zeros and utilizing plugins to make something that still makes sense. So if you can find that balance of this not being so loose it feels out of control, but also not being so rigid and quantized and locked in that it feels like it doesn't have any life anymore, no creativity anymore, if you can find that balance, I think you're gonna be in a much, much better spot. Happy Fred, if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. Thank you so much for being here. Like even that has a much better dynamic range there, right? Where it feels a lot more restrained. So that's what I'm kind of looking for, right? Is more moments that you exaggerate the dynamic range in order to create that intimacy and that vulnerability in the record versus noise and vibrancy constantly. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Whoops, where's the cheer? Show some love. That is Ever Snow. They're right here over on TikTok. Please show some love to Ever Snow. You're really, really, really improving on your structure. So I am so happy with the progress that you've made. So proud of the work and the effort and the time that you and Helios have put behind y'all creating music and building structure. So grateful for y'all. We love y'all. Thank you so much for sending this in. I can't wait to hear progress on these records too. Just such amazing improvement. It's really, really fun to hear kind of in real time over time to see the steps that you're taking to build structure and make your music something that feels really, really vibrant and really creative. So thank you so much for your help. I'm going to dive back in before I forget the notes. Beautiful. And quick reminder as well, that we're live on YouTube as well, YouTube and Twitch. But if you want to go back through stuff, this entire live stream is saved as a VOD on YouTube. As soon as the live stream ends, you can watch the whole thing. This is episode 20, so you can always go back to the Track Talk the Track Talk live stream playlist and go to episode 20. In fact, I might actually use this one, Snow, as its own video as well. So I might actually edit this down. I might actually edit this down and upload it as a standalone YouTube video to really get into the details and show people the consultations and stuff. But yeah, you can always find these on YouTube as well. Okay, let me double check a few things real quick. Is it Zane? Is that how you say your name? Thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. Let me double check a few just comments and stuff on here really quick. Make sure that I'm caught up. No. It's weird catching you here. It's really, damn, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that gets worked out ASAP. That's so scary. It's so scary when stuff like that happens. Is it a Korg mini log in the background? It is at the top. Yeah, top right of the screen. Yeah, you can see. I can show more over if you go over to you. Well, you still can only see half of them. Perfect. I'm so glad. Zane, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I've got up top. I've got a Korg mini log, a Poly D, SK1, Casio SK1, Juno 106. What else do I have over here? It's a Keystep Pro, Yamaha DX21, Prophet 1, Prophet 800, and a K2, and a Donner B1. That's the list. Oh, and the Triton LE. That's the list right now. No, not too bad. Not too bad. I've got a couple up on the board. I'm getting a Poly D. Switch from getting the mini log. It seems more dynamic. I would say in some senses it can be a bit more limiting. You have more oscillators. It's a paraphonic synthesizer, so you get more oscillators. You get chorus circuitry, you get distortion circuitry, you do get oscillator hold, but you do have some other limitations to being paraphonic. You're not going to get like true polyphonic pads and stuff like that, or polyphonic sequencing and things like that. That's where getting like an actual true like 5 or 6 voice polyphonic synth is going to treat you a little bit better and give you a little bit more versatility. But that's, the mini log is great. Honestly, the mini log, in my opinion, is the best synth that you can get for the price. As far as layout, as far as routing, as far as just the presets on here. That's another thing that you don't have on the Poly D. It's a completely analog start to finish, outside of a digital sequencer, but you don't get any presets and stuff like that. No, it's not. That's why I have both, because to me they do very different things. You do get full size keys on the Poly D, and then you get mini keys on the mini log, which pros and cons to that. But they're kind of different. I wouldn't necessarily cross shop them that much. The Poly D's a beast. But if you're wanting like Juno pads, or like like Jupiter brass stuff fitted in there at all, then it's not going to be the best for you. You're going to struggle a little bit with some of that side, but it's a beast. I highly recommend it all the time. What's up, Jenna? I recommend it all the time. It's a really, really nice synthesizer. I tell so many people to get it. And I also just tell I'm bad news for people who are trying to get synths, because they're like, hey, should you get? I'm like, yes, yeah, yes, get it. Should I get this or this? Yes. Buy it. I'm a bad influence. I just love synths, and I want everyone else to have them too. Happy friend. Yes, you can. Go to my profile, click on the link, click on Track Talk submission, and you'll see all the steps there. Let me just catch up really quick here. Catch up on these comments really quick. I'm doing pretty good, Jenna. Doing pretty good. With my routing style, I can make it even better. I'll have it with a Poly D and a mini log. I'll have both. Yep, 100%. Yeah, they're great. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate it. Yeah, synth. Yes, exactly. That's the way. I am in the process now of slimming down. Of course. No, I appreciate y'all so much. You and Helios, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. Y'all show some love to Helios and Ever Snow. Let's get into this next one. We got Mikey in the building. We got Quan on the board. Let me just double check emails really quick. Let me just make sure I have everything doing what it's supposed to do. G-Trill's on? Shout out to G-Trill. Shout out to the man. Let's go, Zane. I like that. Do you have any other synths right now? Are those going to be some of your first that you're investing in? It's really cool, man. It's addicting. Trust me, it's addicting. I'm in the process now of wanting to slim down. I'm probably going to sell a couple of my synths and get a couple. I'm going to sell the DX21. I'm going to sell the DX21. I'm going to get a DX7. I would love to get probably a Mogan here as well. I want to get a Matriarch. But I got to sell. I'll probably sell the DX21 and maybe even the mini log and switch out a couple things in here. All right, this is Mikey Summers. Mikey, hop in the chat. I've got the Spotify link right here. Yeah, maybe later I'll stop in. Let me open this up. This is Blue on Blue by Mikey Summers. Mikey Summers, give me all of the details. Man. I'm excited to dive in. Currently, I have an RC505, a Reaper on my computer with a free orchestra and oscillators. I have a non-MIDI keyboard. Let's go. Amazing. Yeah, dude, dive in. You won't be disappointed in the Poly D. You'll love it. And it retains its value. I bought that open box. I could probably sell it for $50 more than when I bought it. So, it's It's that's the nice thing. That's the nice thing about like actually getting into analog synths is for the most part the good ones will retain their value. I bought that mini log for like 350 bucks. I could probably sell for 450 tomorrow. So it's like they're pretty likely to keep their value. All connected. Nice, dude. I love that. I'm pretty sure I use a Moog synth in this song. Actually, is it the plug in the UAD mini Moog? If it is, I love and use it all the time. It's fantastic. It's a great synth. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. All right, let's get into it. This is Mikey Summers. This song is called Blue on Blue. Give me all of the details. Anything that you want me to know that you think would be important for me to know structurally on this, drop it in the chat and let's get it. Show someone. That is Mikey Summers, and the song that you just heard is out on all platforms. It is called Blue on Blue by Mikey Summers. If you like what you hear, go stream the track, go add it to your playlist, go like it, go follow the artist on Spotify, all that good stuff. Definitely show some love and support if you like the track that you heard. I really like it. I love your voice. I love your songwriting style. That is a gold tag right there. The blue on blue never survives. That's such a really catchy repetitive structure right there that I think is absolutely cool. That's like that little lyric that's gonna like be stuck in my head all night because there's good melodic repetition, there's good structure there. That to me is fantastic. Let's run it from the top. I mean, you said you did produce the album, but you didn't engineer it. Don't have the capability to track live drums at the moment, so I went to my friend's studio to track all the live instruments. Did you still get it? Let me see. Oh, okay. So you got someone else to engineer. You got another audio engineer to take on the mix of it. All right, let's run it from the top and let's get into the details, man. Thank you so much for sending in this track, man. Beautifully done. It's a really, really nice record. Just a very easy listen. Distance on the guitar here too. It does feel a little removed from the mix, you know, and I mean this in a good way, where it feels like there's a bit of depth from like where it was mic'd a little bit farther back. So it doesn't feel too like direct and double tracked. It feels a little more like natural, like you said, almost like this is a recording from a live show that was just like run into an SD card and balanced. You know what I mean? Like it has like a really raw, natural sound that I actually really appreciate about this. Doesn't feel too overproduced, but also doesn't feel like, you know, unintelligible, right? Where you can't even understand what's going on. It feels Content E. It's my pride and joy. That dude, the Taylors are amazing. I didn't own one, but I used to play one almost every week with a buddy of mine. It was a 414. I think is that a model 414 something like, yeah, it was like a 414 CE that was sounded gorgeous. It sounded gorgeous. It was so like bright and punchy and pristine sounding, like just shiny sounding. It was beautiful. It's a great guitar. You put like a fresh pair of strings on that guitar and it just slices through a mix. It's so beautiful sounding. Two quick things, Mike. Man, I love. There's so much I love about this, right? So I mean, just the feeling, aesthetic, performance. I feel like your vocal feels very authentic, very, very nicely performed in the song. Skeezy, welcome in. Good to see you. I love so much about what's going on here. There's two quick little things that I'm kind of listening for that I think to me would just take away some distractions from how beautiful your performance is, how well supported the instrumentation is. I love that this is raw. I love that it's organic. I love that it feels incredibly natural. I don't want to overproduce this. In fact, I just want to like take away some things that might distract from your production a little bit and distract from just the natural, you know, the nature of your performance. So two things to me kind of for this whole track, because your structure's great, lyrics are awesome, and your vocal performance I think is awesome as well. One would be sibilance control for your vocal. It's really well done. Love the vocal chain. Roughly, what was the key to keeping it crisp and clear and upfront and raw? Let them know, Mikey. Let them know. Um, one thing that I would do is a sibilant control. Every once in a while, you get a bit of like unbeneficial resonance from that sibilance, your S's, T's, K's. I would have very, very soft, very soft threshold of de-essing on your vocal. Maybe once you have a big push in the high range of your vocal, which you have in here as well, to make it nice and bright and airy. Let's say you're pushing 10K up, 4, 5, 6 dB, something like that. Maybe softening that down to like 2 or 3 dB, so that it still stays forward, it still stays bright and punchy, but it doesn't feel like overly brittle at the top. And then compounding that with just very, very light de-essing to help control some of the sibilance. Not cut it out, don't give it a lisp or anything like that, but just controlling some of that expression from that frequency, like 5,000 hertz, 5,500 hertz, so that it doesn't crush in the middle of the mix. That way you can really, really turn this up. If I were to like turn this up quite a bit louder than it is right now, it would begin to get really, really harsh and you begin to fatigue over long periods of time. So having some control over those more expressive frequencies that are really slicing through the mix and becoming a bit more harsh, control over that is definitely going to help your ability to push this mix a little bit farther. Play and as a consumer, play and listen to it much louder as well. C sharp minor, E major, B major is the progression. Beautiful, beautiful. So that's one thing. A little bit of control over that is definitely going to help you out. And the other would just be slightly tighter compression on your vocal. Because what's happening is you have this beautiful vocal range, a really nice breathy vocal that fits in this natural production. Gorgeous. Like, it sounds beautiful, man. It's really, really well done. I love so much about it. I love all of the inherent flaws to it. It sounds really nice. It's very, very inviting to listen to. But then occasionally your ending lights on the dun, 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 like your lower range, when you go, whoops, I'm on strings again, hold on. When you go to the lower range and you finally get to the like F sharp walk down to the C sharp, that lower run on your vocal just energy, like diaphragmatic support energy dives in the mix a little bit. So you actually lose like that last ending melody and line in the back of the mix a little bit. And then when your vocal comes back in with a stronger, higher range in your vocal, higher register, it gets really, really loud, gets really, really punchy and present. So controlling that dynamic range to me is really important, so that when you push really loud, it softens it and controls it. It settles it a little bit without pumping and being too strict, right? Still very natural, very smooth. And when you get really, really quiet, it brings up that low amplitude information and allows your vocal, even when you hit the lowest notes that maybe have more breath and less support behind them, they still sound like clean and clear. And I can distinguish them over the guitar melodies as well, like the picking pattern there as well. Those to me are like the two things. Those are the two things I'd point your attention at on your future records. Because man, you're such a great writer. You're a great musician. I love so much about what I'm hearing, but there's some distractions in your sibilance and maybe too broad of a dynamic range in your vocal, where I'm sometimes losing your lyrics in the back of the mix and losing some of your lower melodies in the back of the mix. And those melodies to me, those are the ones that are like repeating the most often. Those are like the biggest parts of your melodic structure, the catchiest parts there. So if those get lost too much, it might not have as much impact as you want it to have. But man, I genuinely love what you're doing from a writing standpoint and a production standpoint. It's so natural. It's very organic sounding. That was my question. I vocal chain, mic, preamp, vocal chain, EQ, compressor, reverb, echo, etc. Sorry, answer later as I want to focus on. I appreciate that. Yeah. Let him know, Mikey. He's curious on what your vocal, and he might not know too. He might not know because I think he went in and the mix was done by someone else, so he might not know the exact chain that was mixed off of. But if you do know, like the mic you were recording with, the preamp, vocal chain, anything like that, let him know.
Before we're just casualties of love.
But I think that's the Moog in the back. The dun, dun, dun. You get a nice like warbly distortion. It's a bit like an overdriven preamp signal there. That's nice. Like it's such a good "Blue will never survive." The melody's so catchy. It's got great repetition, great structure. I love it, man. Really, really nice. This is like a great sync song. I hate saying that because everyone wants to say that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I should get paid $20,000 for that." It's so hard to get into the sync space, but this is I can already picture like the scene. I can. That's like someone like driving away from some like really heartbreaking situation in some like indie film or something like that, and you're like driving away, looking out the window at night or something like that, and this song's playing in the background as like the scene closes on a TV show. Like I feel like I can already picture it, and I feel like when I can already picture something and I'm imagining the film that it's attributed to or connected to or synced to, I feel like that's a good not a good idea, but a good representation of what places well, right? A good idea of what actually places well. This is a good song for stuff like that, man. It's a hard world to get into, but I feel like this is the kind of stuff that tends to do really well. Not the most polished stuff. It depends on if they're looking for like rigid and kind of sterile pop, which a lot of shows are. But man, there's a time and a place for a song like this to be synced. And this is really well done, and you get to own 100% of what you're doing. It's really well done. The mic is a Telefunken ELAM 2. It's a 251. Come on, dude. That's my dream microphone. That's my dream microphone. It's probably one of the best mics in the world. ELAM 251. I want to say the compressor for vocal chain was an LA2A into an 1176, but I'm not for certain. Neve 1073 preamp. Yeah, that's a beast of a vocal chain right there. Yeah, that's an easily like $30,000 vocal chain. That's a beast of a chain right there. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean that's great. So now it's just what you're getting off of a fairly raw vocal, like a studio makes a vocal, is fabulous. One of the best raws that you're gonna get. But now we just need to have like very small amounts of control to just smooth that out so that it sits forward a little bit more. Really, it's so well written. I think it's one of my favorite things about what you do is the writing. It's the structure. It's so good, man. Y'all show some love. Mikey Summers. They're over on YouTube right now. Please show some love to Mikey Summers. If you like what you hear, like I said before, this song is out on all platforms. It's called Blue on Blue by Mikey Summers. It's out everywhere, so stream it, like it, follow, add it to your playlist, all of that good stuff, man. You're a really, really good writer and a good musician, man. So I'm so excited for your future. You got so much already going for you. And you got about 2,000 monthly listeners. You're getting some good movement for your music now. I'm excited for you to just take off, man, because I really feel like you have the potential. It's like one good placement can take you like the right show, the right like Netflix show, and one little scene that's really emotional. You get one little placement and you could just take off, man. Absolutely, absolutely. I've seen that happen so many times. Random little songs and shows that just go absolutely crazy after that. It's difficult to do. Getting that placement is not an easy thing. It could take years, but it's still, I think you have a lot of potential in that world to find those kinds of placements and build those kinds of connections, man. Y'all show some love to Mikey Summers. Let's keep it going. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on my link, and click on Track Talk Submission if you're over on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, go to my description for the live stream, and you'll see the link right there. If you're on Twitch, type !submit right there in the chat. Real quick, these are 20 to 30-minute consultations. These are long-form breakdowns, really in-depth analysis. We're going to go deep into the structure of your music, from production, mix and master, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting. I want to get into the nuances of your music. So if you want to spend 20 minutes plus breaking down your song individually and going through it several times to get into those details, then just follow those steps to get to the link and get yourself up on the board. We've got Quan in the building. Quan, hop in the chat. Quan, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me just double check a few things real quick. QuonDoe and Ever survive. Yeah. Quan's in the building. Let's run it. Let me see if I got yours from yesterday. Yep, I got you. Let me double check right here. All right, this is Therapy, mix number 1 by QuonDoe. QuonDoe Give me all of the details. Talk to me about, and I've heard your music before, I'm positive. But talk to me about production and your role in that. Talk to me about the mix, your role in that, or who might have handled anything else in this structure as well. But let's get into it, man. This is Therapy by QuonDoe. Let's get it downloaded real quick. Shout out to Mikey Summers one more time. Beautiful song, man. Beautiful, beautiful song. All right, let's dive in. Got like a lo-fi feel here.
Had to cut you off, cause I heard they doing pay cuts. Was it really love? I guess I'll never know. Out of hand, shit got out of hand, I had to let it go. Time again, time and time again, the devil got a hold on my hand, baby. I don't understand, baby. Live, love, laugh, but I won't laugh again, baby. Oh, I got the ball and I won't pass again, baby. I've been thinking I'm a fool, or you lied again. You been stretching out them rules, going hard again. They been telling me about you, but talk to God again. Minutes past, think about my past, so yeah, I had enough. Damage flash, devil on my ass, he ain't letting up. God told me, boy, keep running, cause he ain't catching us. Forest, I've been running, baby, hoping that they had enough. I've been thinking I'm the one. I can't fix a broken heart. Need me, can I fall in love?
It's vibey, man.
This is special case, let it breathe. I pray that you can sleep. I pray the bills get paid tomorrow. I pray the kids get eat. I tried to hide my pain, so tell me who gon' pray for me. Talking to my God, but I don't do it faithfully. It's beauty and the struggle through the pain, it's hard to see. Ain't get to say goodbye, but I know he be watching me. Devil on my shoulder, but the law forever speaks, so I...
Drop some details in the chat, Quan. True, Sebastian.
Let's talk about the time a nigga thought to end it all. $2 in my pocket with my back against the wall. Dreams and reality ain't feeling like enough. Questioning my God, so I start to call it bluff. Rose about that sunken place, I pray they snap in. I pray for all my dogs that just waiting on the wing. I pray for all my niggas that don't wanna wait tomorrow. Praying for my baby, I can see through all your sorrow. Oh,
Let's go, y'all. Give it up one time. QuonDoe, they're right here in the chat over on TikTok. I would love to, Quan, I would love to hear more about your role in the track as far as who produced it, who mixed it, stuff like that. Obviously, that's your vocal on the top, right? But yeah, give me some details, man. I would love to know a little bit more about the record and your role in it, and the details of who's handling production, structure, and mix, and all that good stuff. Okay, it sounds really cool, man. It's got a really, really cool feel to it. I think there's some balancing that can be done to make sure that vocal feels really full and forward. You mixed and mastered it. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it sounds cool, man. It's a really, really cool, really cool record. Let's get into it, man. And then where'd you get the production? Let's run it from the top. This is Therapy, mix number 1. Let's get into it. Shout out to QuonDoe. Make sure if you're over on TikTok, make sure that you're following Quan. Show him some love and support. It's a cool like RC20 underwater lo-fi piano feel. Guy's cooler than a fan on eyes. It's a cool direction. Yeah, yeah, definitely Sebastian. I kind of go for a vocal feel that falls a little below the beat just to have them kind of coexist. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's got a little swing to it. It's a little outside the pocket. I like that. I think that works really well with this production style, especially kind of like alternative, kind of like swung, almost lo-fi production structure. I think it works really, really well. This is what I think, this is what like Black does really well. I feel like he exists in this genre, and apparently he's announcing a new album in 2020, early 2026, I think. But Black does a great job of this, of really just like letting the beat kind of do what it does, especially with like lo-fi R&B and stuff like that, and just kind of filling in the voids in the pockets with his voice, and then using his voice kind of more like an instrument than like a lead vocal sometimes, kind of like a chorus saturated vocal. And that's, that to me is very in line with what I hear from you as well. I like to have the production stand out while also vocals still having character. Facts, 100%. Where did you get the production? Who produced it?
Had to cut you off, cause I heard they doing pay cuts. Was it really love? I guess I'll never know. I hate shit.
Yeah, your vocal tone and texture and character is so strong. It's so strong here, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
Out of hand, I had to let it go. Time again, time and time again, the devil got a hold on my hand, baby. I don't understand, baby. Live, love, laugh, but I won't laugh again, baby. Oh, I got the ball and I won't pass again, baby. I've been thinking I'm a fool, I'm lying again.
Really like the saturation on your vocal too. I do want to hear that vocal forward more. So right now there's a balance between connection to the production and everything working together, right? And everything feeling like really blended and really cohesive, so the vocal's not too far out in front, and a balance between missing half of your lyrics because it gets tucked behind the other vocal stacks in the production, as well as some of the other like energetic elements that are happening in there. Like the production's really, really wide, and then you have these like choral stacks that come in as well. Like the big balance right there. Angelo Amani. Okay, cool. Nice. And so I want to find a balance within that, because right now your lead vocal, occasionally when those stacks come in, are diving to the background of the mix. So I want to make sure that you have a balance between, I still want to hear what you're doing. You have a great voice, great character. It acts as an awesome instrument in this record, but it does fall back quite a ways. And so I still want to feel it and feel some of the energy behind the structure. So I would want, every once in a while, your vocal does come in a little bit thin to me. It does sound like a little bit like some of the mid and mid-low energy has left the mix a little bit. I would encourage you to probably warm it up just slightly, nothing too crazy. You don't want it muddy or boomy, but I would introduce a little bit more life, like 500 hertz and below. If you've cut a lot of that out, reintroduce just a hair of it so that vocal kind of warms up again, has a little bit more character, a little bit more vibrancy to it, so it doesn't feel too thin or carved out, just so it feels as warm and natural and interesting as the rest of the production already does. So that's one side of it. And then again, probably just giving yourself even just a small boost over the top of the rest of the production. Even like a dB and a half, 2 dB can be just enough to make a difference in how you perceive that vocal and where it sits over the top of the mix. And then on top of that, then just making sure that you're not compressing too much on the master, to where even when you boost that vocal up, when the bass comes back in, it starts to like pump the rest, like it kind of squashes the rest of the mix, just because maybe the threshold is a little bit too low on the compression on your master. So a couple little things just to like double check before this gets sent out. But structurally, you're great. Your voice, character, texture, fantastic. There's so many elements of this that I really, really enjoy. It feels very interesting and very engaging to listen to in the production as well as in your vocal. I just want to make sure that we, in pursuit of interesting, we don't lose some level of clarity and distinction for your vocal on the mix. But I like a lot of what you're doing. I like a lot of what you're doing, man. It's really cool. Micah's in the building. Go, I finished recording for my latest. We'll tune into the next live for a track talk once a mix. Beautiful, Micah. I love it, man. Thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for being here. Dun, 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 dun. Asterix, I guess I got a club last night. I don't know how to feel. I don't even peasants a girl yet. LOL. What's, hey, wait. Dropping in with big questions. Let's go. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for stopping. It might take a while for you to process that, right? Like those are the deeper things that you gotta process for a while and figure out what you feel. Okay, I'm gonna give that a try right now as we speak. Yeah, beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Let me go a little further. Let's get a little deeper into it. I know you've been on a journey with that too. So sometimes that takes some time to process.
Minutes past, think about my past, so yeah, I had enough. Damage flash, devil on my ass, he ain't letting up. God told me, boy, keep running, cause he ain't catching us.
Like here, I just want to feel like more weight behind that vocal as well. Asterix, thank you so much for the heartbeat. I appreciate that so much.
Running, baby, hoping that they had enough. I've been.
Let me look at something real quick. I'm actually going to drop this. Do you have YouTube? I'm going to drop this in. Do you have YouTube, Quan? Okay, go to my link. Go to my link and click on YouTube. I'm going to drop it into the DAW over there on YouTube and Twitch, but YouTube is usually easier. Let me see. Where's it at? And let me know when you're over there so I can let me get this downloaded. Kyler Sullivan, welcome in. How are you feeling today? It's good to see you. Appreciate you hopping in. There's Quan. I gotta get this downloaded to a different spot. Give me 1 second. And then we're gonna drop it in Pro Tools. I want to look at something and kind of show you what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, that's why it's going to a different place. Let me get this in downloads. Give me a sec. And let's open the file and let's drop it in here. There we go. Boom. All right, let's open that up right there. All right, there's our file. DTSKs and a bit of what you've been up to. Kyler just working nonstop, constantly, every second. is nonstop. Thank you so much for the heartbeat. I appreciate it. DTSK, so good to see you, man. Thank you for the love. Kyler, so good to see you as well. Okay, Quan, we should see it on the screen. Here's your track. Let me get this soloed here. Beautiful. Non-stop. It's crazy, but you know we're doing it. We're chipping away. We're keeping things moving. I'm going to drop an EQ on here, and I'll show you a little bit of what I'm listening for and kind of where I'm seeing it as well. And then we'll see it. And just you know, if you're on TikTok, I have Pro Tools up on YouTube and Twitch. Let's get into it. So we're going to look for some of these like pockets that are a little bit emptied out, low mids right here. This little section, and we're going to listen to a little bit.
Had to cut you off, cause I heard they doing pay cuts. Was it really love? I guess I'll never know. Out of hand, shit got out of hand, I had to let it go. So
this right here, and this is not really exaggerated, it's a pretty flat mix, but it's like this little pocket right here that I'm listening for. You can see there's like almost like a Pultec probably or something here, where you get this nice little burst here at the low end. Right here. Yeah, this energy dip right here. You have a nice little push on the far top end, but there's not a lot of like life and additional energy here.
Get your weight up. Had to cut you off, cause I heard they doing pay cuts.
So I have a lot of room to push this quite a bit higher now, it seems like.
Pay cuts. Was it really love? I guess I'll never know. Out of hand, shit got out of hand, I had to let it go. Time and time again, the devil got a hold on my hand, baby. I don't understand, baby. Live, love, laugh, but I won't laugh again, baby. Oh, I got the ball and I won't pass again, baby. I've been thinking I'm a fool, you lied again. Been stretching out the rooms, going hard again. They been telling me about you, I talk to God again. Minutes past, think about my past, so yeah, I had enough. Damage flash, devil on my ass, he ain't letting up. God told me, boy.
Like I'm able to push this like for. What's up, Dad? Welcome in. Gonna laugh for a wee bit more, Dad. Hey, sounds good, Kyler. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate that a lot. Good to see you, Deb. I hope you're doing amazing. Yeah, like you can see how much I'm able to like push some like mid-low. I'm gonna even like broaden this up a little bit, like push this kind of mid-low warmth right here to like 370 hertz before it starts acting up on me just here on the master. It shows me that there's a lot of room to kind of warm up this mix a little bit and it not feel so kind of carved out where the vocal feels a little bit thin.
Doing pay cuts, was it really love? I guess I'll never know.
If I bypass.
Shit got out of hand, I had to let it go. Time and time again, the devil got a hold on my hand, baby. I don't understand, baby. Live, love, laugh, but I won't.
A little thinner.
Again, baby. Oh, I got the ball and I won't pass again, baby.
It makes it like that vocal. And again, I would never do this on the master. I don't think that's what you should do. Thank you so much for the heart me, DTSK and Deb. I appreciate you so much. I would never do this on the master, but in this context, that's all I have, right? So in this case, what that shows me is that there's a lot of room for like this vocal stack that we have here in the background and your lead vocal to have a lot more warmth, and especially around like 300 to 400 hertz. There's a lot of energy there that to me immediately this vocal like feels like punchy, it feels forward, it feels energetic, and that's what I'm looking for, right? Like the rest of this production is really engaging, it's really interesting to listen to, and so I want to make sure that your vocal follows that same profile. Let me push forward a little bit. I'm going to bypass this again. This is on. Even that production just feels a little snappier. And literally, I mean, this is a non-revision. I mean, this is like 5 seconds of like warming up the vocal, maybe some of the production and stuff like that. It just adds a bit more character, a little bit more of that like warm blanket lo-fi punch that you're looking for, as opposed to it like kind of being like vinyl filtered, and it's got like all this like tape saturation and crunch to it, but then it's like exaggeratedly bright and low, and you miss some of that middle ground right there. I would just warm it up a little bit. And again, you can see what I'm doing. It's literally one plugin. You don't need Fab Filter for this. It's just like really, really simple changes that make it feel so much more engaging to listen to. So, and it's so subtle. It's a very subtle mark, but I would definitely revisit this in some of those background vocals, the acoustics, and maybe that lead vocal for sure. Definitely the lead vocal. But this little pocket right here, I would listen for and see if you can't, diagnose that a little bit deeper, dissect it a little bit.
I pray for better days. I pray that you can sleep. I pray the bills get paid tomorrow. I pray the kids get eat.
Yeah, you can hear it a lot here. So like, I'm gonna go. This is the original. It's the original right here. You can hear how much more exaggerated this feels and less warm it feels.
I pray for better days. I pray that you can sleep.
Here.
I pray the bills get paid tomorrow. I pray the kids get eat.
Back.
I tried to hide my pain, so tell me who gon' pray for me. Talking to my God, but I don't do it faithfully. It's beauty and it's struggle.
Man, that filled out. Man, it feels so different to me, at least, to me personally, at least. And this is not going to come through on TikTok that well, but on Twitch and YouTube, it should come through immediately. Just that the piano feels like a blanket. It feels fuzzy and wide. The kind of overdrive from the harmonics on the vocal feel like they come through a little bit more. It feels a little bit more enticing to listen to me. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. That's what I'm listening for. Let me get back to the original. Let me close this up here on this track real quick. So I don't have too many tracks over there. And let me bring it back. But yeah, that's literally like 400 hertz. You get just a little bit more like drive and warmth and punch. And that to me is what's going to give you I think more of like the tone and the energy that you're looking for. That alone on the vocals and maybe a couple other instruments will get you exactly where you need to be. Okay, let me listen to the last little section here. It's a really cool production. I really like what your vocal's doing too, man. Very cool.
I pray for all my dogs that just waiting on the wing. I pray for all my niggas that don't
Definitely.
Praying for my baby, I can see through your sorrow.
I love the energy on your vocal. It's just so much character, so much texture. It's such a great performance. Structure's great. It's repetitive where it needs to be without it being boring. You're crushing it, dude. This is really, really cool. I like it a lot. Genuinely. I like where it's filtered and crunchy. Good vocal structure all the way to the end. Love it. Dude, I love it so much. Y'all show some love to QuonDoe They're right here on YouTube, over on TikTok. You can find Quan in the chat. Really, really talented artist, man. Your lyric structure is great. Your flow and your energy and what you actually bring to the performance, I think, is really engaging and really interesting to listen to. And I love this production too. It's a nice, like, low fidelity production. I think a couple small little polished things will just take that lead vocal over the edge. But you're definitely on the right track, man. You're right there. Y'all give it up on time for QuonDoe. Just a quick reminder, we're probably going to close up here in just a minute, y'all, in literally just a minute. If you would like to submit your music for a consultation, these are 20 to 30-minute consultations, deep dive into the structure of your music. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. Or if you're on YouTube, go to the description for the live stream. Or if you are on Twitch, type !submit right there in the chat. Dude, anytime, man. I'm so glad we were able to get you. Actually, let me make sure I clear you from the board here. I'm so glad we were able to get you up on the board after the other day. So thank you so much for hopping back in and for your patience. I appreciate you genuinely for sending this song, man. It's really, really well done. Reboot said, brother, the sound difference between TikTok and YouTube is not even close. It's not even close. TikTok is super compressed. Super compressed. Everything's like downgraded to like 720 and then compressed to all hell, and like has like weird duplicated mono issues. And then on Twitch and YouTube, it's free and clear. It's uncompressed audio, and it's nice, or much less compression on YouTube and stuff like that. It's a night and day difference. So I recommend it. I'm not trying to like shoot everyone off of TikTok. I appreciate y'all being here on TikTok, but it is a nice. I actually understand that now. Only took 2 years. Yeah, it's a different world over on YouTube. It definitely sounds a bit better. It also, over on YouTube, I can show you my DAW. I can show you some other things over here. So it's got its benefits. YouTube and Twitch, it's got its benefits for sure. Let me know if there's anybody who's wanting to submit, maybe to close out the live today. Let me know if you're in the building, if you're wanting to submit for a consultation, so I can keep a lookout for your submission as well. Otherwise, we're going to close up the line here in just a bit. I will be live again tomorrow. Tomorrow will probably be afternoon. Rec Dog, thank you so much for hopping in. It'll probably be tomorrow afternoon. So if you want to submit, or you want to send in a revision, you want an update on your track, whatever it may be, if you are maybe hanging on the outside but you don't want to submit today, didn't have it in you, but you want to tap in tomorrow, then we'll be live. I'm not positive on the time because we're doing so much around the holidays. It's difficult to keep track of everything, but it'll most likely be tomorrow afternoon. What time is you at? We're Central time, Deb. So right now it is 10:51 p.m. Central time. So I typically am live. I try to be live early afternoon, but this time of year is just crazy. I would love starting in January, hopefully. I would love to have a consistent schedule. You're Eastern, Deb? Eastern time. Closing time. Yeah, I would love to have a consistent schedule. Okay, cool. Got you. I would love to have a consistent time where we're able to, like, every day, 2 p.m. Central, we're on the clock. It is just, the holidays are crazy. The projects leading into the holidays were already crazy, like really interesting projects leading into the holidays. And then the holidays are just all over the place, and we're all over the place. So I'm trying to figure it out. But we'll get a handle on it. And hopefully we'll be able to move into a lot more consultations over, especially going into January, have a more consistent schedule, consistent client base, and all that stuff. It'll be fun. All right, y'all. I believe that is going to call it for today. I believe that is going to be it for today. So I love and appreciate y'all so much. Just quick little spiel before we hop off the live stream for tonight. My name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. If you are ever interested in any of those services, as a full package producer, as a session musician, I play acoustic, electric, and bass guitar. I've got a bunch of synths, as you can see in here, live drums, vocals, all the way across the board. So if you are ever interested in any of those things as a session musician, or even as a mix and mastering engineer, I've done that for 13 plus years. Trained in studio, classically trained musician since I was 6 years old, so on and so on. So if you are wanting any of those services, of course, reach out to me at any point on Instagram, TikTok, or you can shoot me an email as well through the contact form at theobsidiankey.com, which you can find in my link as well. I would absolutely love to work with y'all. We can talk budget, we can talk timeline, etc., to really get into the details of what you're doing. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much, Deb. I appreciate that a lot. That means a lot for me to hear that. That is always the goal. That is always the goal. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Hopefully we will be able to see y'all very, very soon.